Howdy and welcome to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Trains Take Two.
Hey,
My name
we
is
have internet
Pathfinder.
tonight.
That's right. My
Well,
name is Pathfinder 33. I am Charles, and this is my illustrious co-host right here, the brains behind the operation, Tom, Mr. Electric Water Boy, and he's joining us tonight. He had a close call where he might not have been here.
he might not be here the whole show.
May not be here the whole show, and and that's all right. If he's got a scat, he's got a scat, and whatnot. So, good to see everybody, and whatnot. So, yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I'll move you back down here. Okay.
Yeah, we've got some of this stuff is, we now have this like show vertical button on the thing, and it throws me off a little bit. I guess that's so people can watch on their phone standing up like this instead of doing it like that. But, it is what it is. Glad to see everybody. Math Seeker, Buzz. Look at Gary's chiming in the chat room. Nicole is here. We've got a email to get back to you. We got your email and I shared it with Tom, and we've been doing some thinking about that. But we'll get you an email response here tonight after the show as to your inquiry about that. And we've done something like that before. It just kind of is. It's kind of up to your reviewer. So reach out and let them know what you're thinking about and get their thoughts and whatnot. But let's. Where's the thing? Where's the thing? The media assist. Is this where it is? Yeah. Let's do some news real quick. Bump. All right. So Cash Odyssey is approaching the 1 year old mark and whatnot. We've got well over 5,500 favorite points, approaching the 6,000 mark. If we weren't there last time I looked, but we're getting close. So if you haven't found any of these geocaches, it is worth a look at some of the bookmark lists that are out there. Some of them are really amazing experiences for you. All of these are terrain 1, so they are all handy cacher accessible and whatnot. So, look them up, find the bookmark list. There are plenty of bookmark lists, I promise you. But check them out and go find the one that's closest to you. And hopefully it is an amazing experience. These are all part of a nationwide geo tour. I say that they're part of multiple geo tours that encompass the one in each state. So there are the U.S. is broken down into regions and whatnot. You can find all of this at cashodyssey.com. So head over there and give it a look. Souvenirs. The GIF event was this past month. I hope everybody got a chance to go and enjoy the GIF movies somewhere. And you picked up a souvenir for logging a GIF event. And there you go. Mine's actually in the kitchen. But if you did not get a chance to go to a GIF event, if you go to Geocaching Groundspeak's official YouTube page, they have the videos posted up there. And I don't know when closing, it may have already closed, but the community got to vote on which film they thought was the best. So if you didn't get to go watch them and then vote for the one you thought was the best for the community award for that. And then Cito season number 2 is quickly coming to an end. So if you have not gotten a Cito event this season for the fall season, your time is quickly running out. And so there, make sure that you quickly make plans to go and grab one. So that's it, unless Tom has any news that he'd like to add.
No, I think right below my name there says it all.
That's right. They work on their own schedule. So in this, tonight's show is the rebroadcast of what was supposed to be last month's show. So we're into the trains portion of planes, trains, and automobiles. And we had a good number of train geocaches sent to us. They made a bookmark list, one of our esteemed listeners, and sent us a bookmark list that they created that had a bunch of train puzzles in it. And we're going to jump right on into those. The first one that we are going to look at that Tom helped me solve, because I was sitting there drawing a blank on it. I'll share a link in the chat room for those who potentially want to view along with us. But this is GC 9M CVX. It has been archived. And so there you go. It is a 2 difficulty, 1.5 terrain. All of the puzzles except for one that we're going to look at tonight are all by the same CO. And so they're all right here, and they're all really good train puzzles and whatnot. So this one has to do with the Amtrak system. And you get down here and read through all of their stuff. And then here's the puzzle portion right here, right? So in this puzzle portion, you're only searching for the last 5 digits in the north and west coordinates. So you're only looking for the decimal degrees portion that is in any of these. So your north 39 and your west 105 are going to carry over. And I didn't understand how to get to this. I went to Amtrak's website and whatnot and was doing some looking, but the first portion of this that you have to solve is Southwest Chief westbound at La Junta, Colorado. And so there's some extra information that you really don't need. That once Tom shared with me this, I was like, oh, well, all right. But Tom, you want to walk us through this?
Oh, I was still trying to figure out that last one we were working on.
Okay.
Stuck. I am still stuck on how we got FG. I know where we're starting in. It's the middle that's throwing me. Okay. On this one, let me move this up here so it's bigger because I'm old and can't see. I just took that first line there, and you know our normal phrase, Google is your friend.
Yeah,
Popped it into
absolutely.
Google and it came up with an Amtrak thing.
It
So
does. Let me adjust some things real quick. Share screen. Share an entire screen. We want to share that one. All right. So you go to um, the Google here. And so what I did was just copied that Southwest Chief westbound at La Junta, Colorado, and put that into the Google A. Right. And then I scrolled down and you go to Amtrak's official website for the Southwest Chief train. You click on that and it brings you here. So here's the Southwest Chief train. This is originating in Los Angeles right here. And this track is going from LA to Chicago. And then this train is going from Chicago, which is down here on the next page. It starts in Chicago at 2:55 and ends the next day or 2 days, almost 2 days later in Los Angeles. But we're looking for La Junta, Colorado right here. And so this is where I was getting kind of mixed up. I was trying to figure out, what do these symbols mean over here, the handicap and the solid circle. It showed 7:30 a.m. And so I was like trying to figure out what, like, is it the train station number? Was it how long was the train going to be in the station? Like, I went down a couple of rabbit holes that really didn't. Once Tom told me this, I was like, oh, well, I didn't need to do any of that, because all of the information you need is right here. So throw a dog a bone, Tom.
zoom in there at the top of the screen. Those trains have like route numbers or train numbers. So if you are heading east and north, you're number 4. But if you're heading south and west, you're number 3. And we needed a 3, right, on this one?
Yeah.
And then it's wash, rinse, and repeat for the rest of them.
Yeah. And so once you come in here, you then need to get the Sunset Limited, and you're going eastbound. And this is what I was talking about the extra information. You really don't care where the station is along the route. You just need to know whether you're going east or west, north or south, or what have you, because the actual town that you're in really doesn't matter. And for me, that's what kind of got me. I sit there counting how many stops are there between Chicago and La Junta, Colorado. There are 16, I'll tell you that, and that doesn't help you any.
No.
And so if you take this same information, the Sunset Limited, and you come up here and plug it into the good old Google A, right? And then go back to the official, and then look at the schedule, and then you blow this up. You want to, in this, you are headed eastbound. So you're headed from Los Angeles to Louisiana. And you're wanting the Yuma, Arizona stop, but really the Yuma, Arizona stop at 3:47 in the morning really doesn't matter to you. You want that number right there. Right?
Right.
Okay.
One of these days, in the not too distant future, when I have more time on my hands, I would love to ride the train from San Antonio to Chicago.
Right. I was sitting there looking at that today while I was sitting here trying to solve some of these earlier today. And I was like, man, you could ride from, all the way along like the I-70 corridor to like San Francisco.
Yeah. It's not
And
cheap, but yeah. And it's not fast either.
no, it's going to take you days. Like the trip from Chicago to LA was like 43 hours. And
But you don't
so
have to drive, so it's cool.
that's it. And they got they got, dining areas on the train. So you can just go up to the dining car, get some lunch, get a snack. I'm sure there's probably a place to, get a frosty adult beverage somewhere, and just enjoy window watching out the window, and whatnot. I mean, that's got to be a beautiful way to see a good portion of the Western U.S. Through that, from just sitting on the trains and looking out the window. You know, um, so
Well, once I got up there, I wouldn't just turn around and come back. So I would go to the Natural History Museum in Chicago or whatever it is, the one that's got the U-boat and stuff. Go see that.
yeah,
Then I'd have to have a rental car or something because I would go get that Ice Age Vista cache so I can have the cactus.
get the cactus attribute. Yeah,
And then I got to go the other direction because I'd want to go to Detroit to go to Detroit 75 Kitchen. It's a food truck that I follow. I want to go to that. And I don't have Power Island, so who knows? I might get lost up there for a week.
it's their worst places to be lost at.
I can name a few in Texas, but
so yeah, you do that, and as Tom said, rinse, wash, and repeat, and go through the rest of these. They give you the decimal degrees that you're looking for. Plug them into the checker, get you a correct solution. But like we said, this cache has been archived, so.
But it's a cool idea. Take it and make it your own.
Absolutely. Take it and make it your own. Train puzzles are something that, trust me, we sat there outside of this little cluster of them that's there in the Colorado area, that they're lacking. We kind of had to dig far and wide to find one that wasn't in this, that wasn't created by this CO. So, so yeah. Let's see. Jumping to the next one. This one I found very interesting and had to. I found a article online for it that shows you how to do it. So let me share the GC code with our live viewing audience. And this, for our audio listeners, is, am I off one? Another way of dating. Let me see.
Where you go? Yeah, you should be on another way of dating.
Yeah, another way of dating. So, right, that's not the one I shared. All right, we'll go out of order real quick. So we'll go to dispatcher. That's the one I shared in the chat room. So that's GC9 Hotel 07 Echo, GC9H07E. This one's called dispatcher, and whatnot. So let me. I found a cheat sheet for all of this, and so I'll share that with us. So let me. Yeah. All right. So this talks about the BNSF and the UP Railroad's joint line that runs from Denver, Colorado to Pueblo. And so it gives you some back history about all of that, and talks about how the train lines got merged and whatnot, and who they originally belonged to. Um, Tom, what is the UP train line?
Do what?
The UP train line?
Union Pacific.
Union Pacific. Do you know what BNSF is?
Burlington Northern Santa Fe.
All right, there you go. Whew. You can't pull nothing on Tom. He's the brains of this operation. But for those who didn't know, there are they have to have something for the trains to be able to talk to the dispatchers and other trains up and down the lines. Trains all have radios in them, and much like your car AM FM radio. Let me see if we can. Oh, I need to be over on this page. There we go. These frequencies right here are radio frequencies for the choo-choos. They are designated by the FCC, and they have a bracket of frequencies that are designated specifically for trains. Nobody else in the U.S. is allowed to use these frequencies. These are train specific, and they are actually assigned to either a specific train line, the UP or the BNSF, or they are assigned to a train route, right? So you can listen to these if you have a scanner that will scan in this frequency range. But the 160, here it is, the 159 to 161.5 megahertz are the frequencies that are listed out for trains. And there is a way that you can go out and find all of these, but it tells you here you do not need a railroad scanner to solve this puzzle, but you do need to figure out something about each of these frequencies. And so each of these frequencies, so I work in telecommunications, and so I kind of know where to find a bunch of stuff that's frequency related on the FCC's website. But I actually found a more user-friendly spot than the FCC's website specifically for all of this train stuff. And so let me see. Yeah, I think that's right. So that link that I just shared in the chat room will get you to this radioreference.com. And if you scroll down here is all of the railroad operations and whatnot. This is for wideband, where they're 25 kilohertz apart, or for narrowband, the 12.5 kilohertz. That just tells you how far the frequencies are apart from each other, either 25 kilohertz or 12.5 kilohertz. But if you come back over, Tom, what was the first frequency that we were looking for?
It was 160695.
So 160.965. And that is right
No,
here.
695.
Oh, 695?
695.
All right, so that is right here. Let me see if I can blow this up so we can. There we go. So 160.695, right? And you've got to know something about this. Well, if you scroll over here, it's AAR 039 or channel 39, right? And that is Tom, what is the north degrees for the listed cache page for the posted coordinates?
39 and then 32.
So north 39. So channel 39 just kind of fits right there in all of that. And then what was the second frequency we're looking for?
160, 590.
So 160.590. And you scroll out here and you see that that's AAR 032 or channel 32. So there's your 39, 32, and then you're going to have a dot, something, 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 right? But this is how you go about finding that information. These are all of these stations, all of these right here are all tuned to carrier squelch. So there's no, if you've got walkie talkies and you can put in a little secret tone so that not everybody can talk on your channel. Those are called PL tones or privacy line tones. These are all tuned to carrier squelch. So anybody who has this frequency tied in their radio can both listen and talk without having any other security stuff tied into the radio, which that is just me having extra information that from working in this. But if you follow all of these frequencies up and down and up and down, and you look at the channels on the cache page, he tells you on one of them that you only need the last digit, right? So 161, 175, you come over here and go 161, 175. It's channel 71, but you only need the last digit. So a 1, right? So that's how you go through and do some of this. I just happened to know where to go and find some of this stuff, and actually found this railroad website that kind of made it a little easier for all of this stuff. But is a neat little piece of this. The other thing, if you read this cache page, he gives you a lot of information about some of this that you really don't need for anything, but for me, I'm sitting here looking at it like, oh, this would make for a neat little puzzle right here. Because he says right here, BNSF detector, milepost 21.3, no defects, total 514, total axles 514, detector out. And so it says if that was for a coal train, it would most likely have 4 locomotives with 6 axles each for a total of 24 axles. The remaining 480 axles would mean that there were 124 axle coal hopper cars left in the train. And when you see extra information, at least for this puzzle, solving it, you just kind of ignore it, right? It's just extra information that you don't need. But as somebody who's advocating for puzzles being made, hey, I'm going to point this out because you could make a cool puzzle out of something like this. People would have to know or research stuff about locomotives, like how many axles does an engine have versus how many axles does a coal hopper have, and whatnot. But I thought that was kind of some neat information that was thrown in, that if you wanted to create you a cool train puzzle, you could do it based off of that. So just food for thought, throwing that seed out in the yard, seeing if something ever happens with it. So,
well, I could add to that. Let's see. You could go by how many cars are on a particular kind of train. I mentioned coal train with 4 engines. Do you know where those 4 engines are?
I would assume that there would be 2 in the front and 2 in the back, or 3 in the front, 3 in the back, maybe, and 1 in the front. And I guess it would depend on whether it was traveling downhill or uphill for a majority of the train ride, whether you're pushing or pulling,
or both.
or both.
Yeah.
Um,
So you've seen this, so you knew that. I don't know that everybody knew that they, because you asked me UP and BNSF. I know that because the power plants I worked at, we had coal fire units in Burlington, Northern Santa Fe, pulled our coal trains for a while, and then things changed, and it was UP. And yeah, they have engines in the front and the back because of the going over hills and stuff. And the number of cars, when I first started, we had steel trains, and there were like 103 to 106 cars on an average train, and now they're aluminum, and they went to 130 something for a while. And I don't know if they've gone to 150 yet or not, but they may have.
Yeah.
But in another 2 years, that won't even happen. We'll have 0 coal trains because we won't have coal anymore.
Because we're all going nuclear.
Maybe. We have some nuclear. Or as a former governor of our state said, nuclear.
Nuclear. Yep. All right. So now we'll jump back to this one called Another Way. This is GC1AWVO. And there it is for those in the chat room. This one again in the greater Denver area, the greater Denver metropolitan area, and is by, again, the same CO. And we'll add this too. So here you go. So this one's called Another Way of Dating. Tells you that the cache is not at the coordinates, but is about 450 feet away. To figure out where, you'll have to solve the puzzle below. The key to solving it is so obscure that I would be surprised if you could find anything about it on the internet. But it's not that hard, is it? So it said that there are, you might have discovered some railroad tie date nails in some of my other caches, right? Date nails were inserted into railroad ties to track how old the railroad ties were and how long they lasted. That way, when railroad ties were replaced or there were issues, they could go back and see how long said railroad tie had been there. But if you didn't have railroad nails, or you ran out, there is another way that they use to date railroad ties. And this right here is the puzzle. The question is, how do you read these? How do you read these dots? And so I'm going to pull up another PDF document right here. And so this is a look back at railroad tie clock dating, right? And so in order to read this correctly, you would stand in the, you'd stand in the center of the railroad tie looking out. Now, these holes were carved or were drilled into the top of the railroad tie. So you'd stand in the middle and look down at it, facing, and they would be closer to one railroad track than the other. And so the one that they were closest was the one that you needed to stand, have the holes between you and that railroad line as you stood at the center of the railroad tie. And you would look down on it. And so the little hole that's in the middle is your middle of your watch face or your clock face. And then the dot that is closest to that is the number that you read first. And then the number that is further away, you read second, right? So in this instance right here, so from the center dot, the closest one is 3, and the furthest one away is 9. So this is 39 or 1939. That's when the railroad tie was installed. And then if you go to the next one over, you can see the center is a smaller hole. And then the one that's closest to it, that's the two big holes, is pointing towards 4. And then the other one is pointing towards 0. So this would be 1940, so on and so forth, right? So this gives you an idea of how to solve this. And so if we go back to the cache page, and assuming that you are standing below the holes that are drilled in the railroad ties, and that you stand below them and you look at them, and the railroad track is above the numbers, right? So you're looking at it like it's a clock. 12 or 0 is at the top. So this one, here's your center mark. This is the 3 o'clock, and this is to the 9 o'clock designation. So that would be 39, right? And if you come up here, we need to find north 39 degrees. And so this one would be the same way. You start at the center dot, which is the smaller of the 3 dots, right? So the center dot, and this one is a 3, and then this one is clock position, right? 3, 2, 1, 0, right? So this is 3, 2. And then on this one would be straight down would be 6. And then this one would be to the 3 o'clock position, right? So 6, 3, and then you end up with some extra numbers that you don't need and whatnot. So in this puzzle, we know that we need to be at 10 something for the puzzle. And because the west coordinates have an extra digit than the north coordinates, he just cuts one of the very first digit off on this. So the first number that you're looking for is 04, right? And so you put that in for 104 and whatnot. So 104, and then you go through the rest of this. We'll see. Let's do this second one on the bottom row right here that I'm circling with my mouse. So somebody in the chat room who's watching the show, chime in on what this one is right here. We'll take all of your guesses. All right, so I just realized this. The CO is in the chat room. And so he was the CO was the first one to pop off in here with the correct answer. So yes, very, very much so. But Buzz 82 is right there, not far behind you, right on your coattails. So absolutely 58. So this is a neat way of going through and finding this stuff. I will tell you that finding this document was super obscure and was not something that readily, I had to go do some searching for this document and whatnot. So once I found that document, then getting the solution to this puzzle was much quicker. There you go. There you go. Yes. Yes, ma'am. And whatnot. The one thing that I do like about this, oh, look at the hint. Oh, well, I guess, if you read the hint, I don't normally read the hints until I can't solve something. Each of the 8 number symbols represents 2-digit number, right? Since the symbols represent actual coordinates, it should be no surprise that a 2-digit number at the first symbol represents. Maybe trying the puzzle at different times of the day will help you figure it out. I like that. That's a solid hint. That's a solid hint right there. Look, and it gives good parking coordinates. So, always solid. But yeah, so I enjoyed this one pretty much. The next one took me some work, and you can see by Tom's face, he's still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, we're still working on it.
Oh, you're still on the Korea subway one, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, jump back in because we're gonna pull you in for this Hemingway.net. This Hemingway 42. I didn't always.
Oh.
Yes, absolutely. This would be a great puzzle to replicate. And in fact, all of these are. And if you enjoy, trains, then our goal in this show, one, was to teach you how to solve some of these, but was to also show you examples so that you could take it, recreate it, make it your own, and put new puzzle caches out for your local caching community. I know my local caching community absolutely hates some of the puzzles that I put out because I put out some really hard ones. But once they solve them, I've got one that's got like 100% favorite points right now. So, but yeah, absolutely. Take it and run with it and make it your own. So let's see. Let me copy and paste. This is Hemingway 42. Hemingway. It is GC 9GV0Z for our audio listeners. And this one has some cool glass insulators. I wasn't always the biggest glass insulator fan or collector. My grandmother was, and she had tons of these things all over the backyard. They come in a bunch of different colors: clear, blue, green, yellow, red, maybe.
Yeah, I've seen red with red on the outside, or like a maroon red with white on the inside.
But yeah, my grandmother had a ton of these, used to collect them all the time. Here's another example on the cache page of these insulators. These were found they put power lines right next to the railroad tracks and whatnot. So you oftentimes would find these insulators, as you walked up and down the railroad tracks. Just be careful because within like so many feet of the railroad tracks is private train property. So,
Be careful when you see one of these on a fence too, because it might light up your day.
It's yeah, telegraph and signal lines. So um, there you go.
I didn't know there was so many. Researching this, I didn't know there was so many different uses for. Oh, I mean, they're all insulator, but I didn't know they were used for so many different types of insulation. I mean, I thought just power line to start with. I didn't know there was. Didn't even think about telegraph stuff.
Yeah, I didn't either, and whatnot. And the thing that when you go to look for some of this stuff, there's so much information about this that you almost get overwhelmed with it. But so you once you read down through the cache page, you will find that he has one set of north coordinate puzzle, and then something that looks vastly different for the west coordinates. So, I did the exact same thing that we did with an earlier puzzle. I took the CD 152, I copied it, I opened a Google A page, I pasted it in there and then put insulator. Boop. And it came up with, man, look at that. That's, and so came down and typed in this Hemingray.net, right? Like that's the where, like, why would you not go to the manufacturer's website, right? So I clicked on it, and you kind of got to looking around at it, and there's all kinds of different stuff down here there's tons of information. And so the question is, where do you go first, right? Like where do you start? Now I will tell you that you probably need to start at the easiest thing, which is what I did not do on the Amtrak puzzle, right?
No.
But this one gives you a style or a catalog number of 40. And so if we come back to this, you're at North 39, right? So you know that you need to be in the North 39 area. And he tells you that CD 152 -1. So when you come over here to this insulator page, you have 40 -1, right? And so if you go through and do that for the rest of the northerly coordinates, you will end up with correct northerly coordinates. Follow the instructions, either last digit or -1. But what you are looking for on those is the style catalog number that's at the top of each page that you go to for each of the different isolators. What threw me for a loop was this bottom portion. And so here, from the years 1941 to 1967, Hemingray put some coded information on their insulators that indicated the mold number and the date it was manufactured. Use the information to decode the date in the below code. Use the last digit in the year in each case to determine the west coordinates. Now, it took me doing 2 of these to realize that I could then recognize what I was looking at on the cache page, and I did not have to go to Hemingway's website to decode this, right? But it took me doing a couple of them to realize, and then once I figured that out, I was like, oh, that. So in this, and let me pull my show notes over here and see. I put some Yeah, let's open this link. All right. Yep. So, so a lot like this web page, Hemingway also has some other information for dating their insulators. And if you scroll down on this, it gives you an example right here. It kind of explains it. It says, all dots around the year code should be counted. A colon counts as 2 dots and added to the date of mold manufacturer. This gives you the actual date the insulator was produced. Style 3 is the most common, right? And so this is mold dash year, and then behind the year, you need to count each individual colon, dot, or period. So in this, this is an example of style 3. The front skirt has nothing, and the rear skirt talking about the skirt on the actual glass insulator, is 5-42 : period, right? So that's 3 colons, 6 dots, and a period. So 7 dots. So MM is 5. That is the mold number, right? And then YY in this case is, in the case of the example on their website, is a 42. Then they have 3 colons, each count as 2 dots, and a single dot, or 7 dots total. Thus, the mold code is 5, and the year the mold was made was 1900 plus 42, 1942, and the insulator was manufactured in 1900 plus the 42 plus your 7 dots, or 1949. Wow, that is tiny, isn't it? Let me see. But if I make it too big, then it goes off of the page, right? So this is the example that was on their web page, right? So you got the mold number 5. The mold was made in 1942, but the insulator has 1, 2, 3 colons and a period. So you add all of these numbers to the end of the mold manufacturing date, and that tells you when the individual insulator was made. So take this information now. So 42 plus the 7 dots is 49, right? You take that information back to the cache page, and then you can look at, this is mold number 5. This mold was made in 1946, but the insulator has 2 colons behind it. So 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, right? And so that 50 will give you the value for F, but he tells you right here, use the last digit in each year to determine the west coordinates. So for F would equal 0, right? So I did not, this is a lot of information that I didn't realize about insulators, is that you could track them to like the specific year that each one was made. At least for ones that were produced between 1941 and 67, and ones made by this company. So you learn something new every day, and whatnot. So scroll through, use the Google A to solve the first part, and then this handy dandy information for dating the Hemingway insulators and solving this portion of it was off of their website. Very cool information. It's something that I probably wouldn't have learned had it not been for this geocache, just because and it's information like my grandmother would know, because she'd probably be able to like pick one of these up out of the dirt and dust it off and be like, oh, well, this was made in whenever. And you're like, how do you know that, Grandma? This is some of that. I'll take useless knowledge for 1,000, Alec, and hope that this is a Jeopardy category, whatnot. Very cool stuff. I agree with Houston, Texas, Dave. That this is good stuff, and that this is easily converted to a new puzzle for you and your locals, especially since Dave, since the Houston Astros have a choo-choo train that goes back and forth there in the stadium. It might be kind of neat to be able to tie this into something for that. So, and then you could have Uptrain come and solve your geocache and whatnot. I always enjoy talking to him when I'm back in Texas at some big events. But if you could tie some of this into like the Houston Astros train that goes back and forth when they hit a home run, I think that'd be pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, all right, Tom. We're gonna wrangle you back in here to look at this. The barcode one. I didn't realize that they actually did this, and in researching some of this, I realized how big of an epic fail this was for trains. But this is some more of that obscure train knowledge that I would have never learned had it not been for this. But this is GC 9J MMK. It's called Car Track, KARTRAK. There it is for everybody in the chat room if they want to follow along. I found a deal that showed you how to calculate all of this stuff online, but let's look at this. When you first look at this, you kind of are like,
what the hell is that?
Yeah, what the hell?
Don't put your lips on it. You're old if you remember that sketch.
I mean, I do have gray in the beard. I'm old. All right, so way back in the 1960s, railroads were first to use a new technology to keep track of locomotives and railroad cars of all types. This was the car track system, and it was first used of what today we would call barcodes. These automatic car identification, or ACI barcodes, were put on pretty much all items plying the rails back then. So the system was a huge failure. I found some other web pages that talk about how much money the railroads sunk into this stuff and how much of a huge failure it was and how much money just pretty much got wasted. But the read rate was no better than about 80% due to damage and, well, dirt. A bunch of the stuff that I saw also talked about in the winter months that snow and ice would cake up on there and would cover them. And you couldn't even, they'd get to train yards and you'd have a guy out there with a sledgehammer pounding the ice off of the railroad cars as they were coming in so that they would expose the barcodes. The system was abandoned in the late 1970s. So now you get to translate the following into actual coordinates. One of the things that I always try and impress on people is to find similarities in top and bottom. Again, he drops the first one in the westerly coordinates, so you know that it should be 103 or 104 or whatnot, but he drops the one. And then you've got this where you kind of got this zigzag, a blue on top and a red on bottom with a little black sections on each end, right on top of each other in the same position, right? So that should tell you that that is either the period in the decimal degrees, right? Which is what that is here, because you have 1 character, 2 characters, 3 characters at the end of each one of these with this same symbol exactly one on top of the other in the puzzle. So these two things, you know, are the period in there. But if you, let me, boop. If we take this, I'll throw this into the chat room so everybody kind of will have access to this little cheat sheet. But if you open it up and go to it, if you look there in the background, like there's the stuff and there's the little reader and whatnot. And so this one right here kind of talks about some of it, but it gives you right here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then a start and stop, right? The start and stop character, it's the start character, I believe, is what is on the cache page. Blue on top, red on bottom, blue on top, red on bottom. Yep. So it's the start. He's using the cache owner's using the start icon right here in both of this for the period. Oh, there you go. And we've got a date with Mr. Fox here coming up in the spring to talk about a bunch of the new changes that are being made on the Cache Sleuth web page. But there's a lot of good stuff on there. I didn't even go look on Cache Sleuth for this, but it's good to know that there is a table for this over on Cache Sleuth. That way, local cachers can easily recreate this. But so the all checkerboard square is a 0. Oh, is a 1. So so here you are, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then as you go through this, you take each one little square, translate it out, and that will give you your north and west coordinates for this as you go through the thing. But the you can go to Cache Sleuth and do it, or you can do. I put in automatic car identification and then ACI barcode train into a Google search when I found this page, and that's how I ended up with this page.
I did the same thing, but I went to the Car Talk Wiki page.
Oh, okay.
And found a thing there that had something similar to that. So.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Santa Fe, so that's even before they merged. That's an old car.
Yeah. But that right there just goes to show you that there are multiple ways to solve some of these puzzles, because I solved it one way, you solved it using a different resource, and it sounds like the cache owner created it using a third resource that we highly praise on this show, but I didn't even think to go and look at Jason's website at cashsleuth.com. But cashsleuth.com for the win, man. You know?
Jason makes cool earth caches too. I found one of his last week.
Oh, were you up there in that neck of the woods?
I spent a day in Oklahoma, so I found one of his, and he loved my answers.
Oh, there you go.
We'll save that for another show on another talk show that's part of our network.
Yeah. All right. And so the last one that we're going to look at from this CO is one called pulling power. It is GC9JMNG. There it is for those in the chat room. All right. Actually, I like this one. I probably more than the other ones, just because it's, I've got an old 80s model CJ Jeep and put a new motor in it and almost tripled the horsepower that thing. It had 115 horsepower in it when it was brand new in 1983. And I put a new motor in it, and I now have 280 horsepower, 2.5 times. Like, it's stupid how much, like, I can make the front wheel come up off the ground if I dropped the clutch and floored it. It's not the intention, but
that would knock all the ducks off your dashboard.
There are no ducks on my dashboard. Shame on you. Those get left in the parking lot when people leave them on my Jeep.
Oh.
No. I don't. Yeah. No. We'll just leave that. We'll leave that right there. I'm sure somebody in the chat room's got a Jeep with a bunch of ducks on it.
He's waiting to come see you.
Oh, all right. What? Still in the plastic?
This one's a travel bug.
Oh, is it?
This one already is a travel bug. This one's going to be a travel bug.
Oh, Lord. Weren't you doing something with your Subaru, your Moo Subaru?
Subaru.
Yeah, the little cows.
We have Subarus have cows.
Yeah.
Chevy Tahoes have transmissions.
All right. So for this cache page, it's for me. Before geocaching, there were railroads, hence my geocaching name of RR Man or Railroad Man. Back in my earlier days, I learned all sorts of stuff about railroads and their locomotives. I learned how the pulling power of each locomotive was measured. Automobiles are often rated in this same way. Listed below are a bunch of locomotive models that were produced by EMD for many railroads. Do a little internet searching and you should come up with what looks like, what to look for. And so it's the same for all of them. But what we'll do is look at this one. And so when I was on my allotted 15-minute break from work, I did some internet sleuthing and did this and put GP40 locomotive pulling power, right? And there's a Wikipedia page and there's this and this data sheet and whatnot. But what I did was just use the new built-in AI thing at the top of the Google A page that told you that it had 62,500 pounds of tractive effort with a continuous pulling power of this many pounds at 11.1 miles an hour. I've got to figure out why they're all at 11.1 miles an hour. But it achieves this with a 3,000 horsepower engine. And that's what you're looking for is the HP. Choo-choo. And so what I did was just went through and went to the next one down the list, and the next one down the list, and the next one down the list, and just went in and just replaced the GP40 with the new engine model number, right? Oh, there you go.
I think
the Moo Subaru.
Fest in Daytona, I think.
But you're looking for a horsepower rating, and you go through and find all kinds of information about these locomotives and the different ratings for it. You can look here, it has it listed in horsepower and in kilowatts. And so you could really throw some people off and pull some of this stuff listed off of kilowatts, because that's how the Europeans rate their engines. They don't do it in horsepower, but they do it in kilowatts. So you go through and do all of that for all of these. It will give you the north coordinates, and then you go through and do it for all of these, and it will give you the west coordinates. And then you put those into the solution checker that's on all of this cache owner's cache pages. And then it will update and move your pin on the map. And the next time you are in the greater Denver, Colorado area, you will have about a half dozen puzzles that you have solved that are all train related that you can go out and find.
You know what I wish I had paid attention to on this one, though?
What?
Are these, I mean, this is the power of the engine. Are some of these older trains, is that engine going to the wheels?
Is that
on
wheel
modern trains,
power?
the engine goes to a generator.
Yeah, so it was fun. Oh, and see, here you go. All of these caches are all within a mile of each other, except for the clock dating one. So, you've got a bunch of puzzles all solved, all right here. You probably use the same parking coordinates for all of them, and just walk in a pretty park, and whatnot. So there's the answer to your question. The generator.
Oh, went to the generator. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known that.
What kind of engine do the modern locomotives have?
What are they, all natural gas ones now?
They're gas turbines on them now.
Yeah. They're called diesel electric locomotives.
But have they always been diesel to electric? I just wondered at some point it was diesel geared to the wheels or something.
I don't know.
Diesel to electric makes it easier to control it. So
yeah. All right, and so the last one of the night that we're going to, that we still haven't solved. We've been working on this one. I've been working on this one since before last month's show, and I still don't have it solved because there's something hokey going on.
We have CDE messed up.
You're absolutely welcome. Thank you for creating some amazing cache pages and for the cacher who found them to create a bookmark list, and you not get upset that we show people how to solve them. They weren't terribly high on the difficulty scale, but
Till
we
we got to this
appreciate
one.
until we get to this one. But we appreciate good COs and good puzzle caches. So thank you for creating those for the community.
And even though we haven't solved this one, I kind of like this one the best because the way it's presented.
Yeah. So let's see. So this one is GC 952BG, right? So this is the only one that is not in Colorado that we're going to show tonight, and it's the only one that's not in the U.S. This one is located in Belgium, in Limburg, Belgium, and in order for you to get to this, for most of the people who are watching our show, you will have to right click on it and then scroll up to where it says translate to English, because it is 100% in, I believe it was German. As you scroll through here, this geocache is in Belgium, right? But it is called the Seoul Subway. And as you read through the cache page, it tells you that the CO, one of his favorite country to visit has been South Korea. And since he was studying Korean, his passion for this impressive country began to grow. He traveled there a lot, and so he brought the subway map for the Seoul, Korea subways back to Belgium and made a deal. So we'll show that to you here in just a second. But there's some information that you need. Today, your task is to navigate the city and arrive at your destination. Use the section of the metro map below and the descriptions with the departure and destination points. Note, the via stations, and you'll see this here in a second, are places you pass, not necessarily where you transfer. You pass them in the order that they're given, right? So each metro line has its own color and number. Find out which lines you need to take to get from one destination to the other, and then the number of the lines you take form the letter for the coordinates, right? Remember that this is being translated and it's a literal translation and may not be, there may be some regional slang that doesn't get translated in some of this stuff. So take that for what it is. There's line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Your task is to find A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then he has H, E here, but I think that's supposed to be H, I, J.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where we're messing up. Who knows? And so in this, to solve for AB, you have to start at, and I'm going to butcher these names, and I apologize. My Korean is I've never been to Korea. And so my Korean is absolutely horrible. It's even worse with a Texas accent. But you need to go from Uido to Sindang, and you have to go through Samgakji. Anyhow, we're going to try and show you guys this AB line. And you have to start in Uido, go through Sindang. You start in Uido, you end in Sindang, and you have to go through this station. So I already have some of this stuff done. This is my paint map of all of this that I have done. So in this first one, let's see, is the red ones. So we can zoom in here. you're going to start here. Let me do this. Boop. You're going to start here, right? At the Uito. You want to end up here in Sindang, but you have to go through this station to get there. So if you are here in Uito, you're either going to ride the number 5 train or the number 9 train. Well, the number 9 train does not get you anywhere close to where you're going. Right, because you want to go this way. So if you rode the 5 train up to this station, and then you transferred trains to the 6 train, you would then come down and then through the station that you have to go through, you'd continue to ride the 6 train up, and then here to your final destination, right? I still have 11 people watching live, so I haven't lost anybody. Good on all of you. So in this, you will ride the 5 train to the 6 train and take the 6 train to your final destination. When you look at this AB, and you come up here to posted coordinates is 55.9. So 56 fits within the realm of possibilities, right? And so 56. And so then the next one.
I just got figured out.
Did you?
I did.
Shut your mouth. Okay. All right. So the next thing we want to do is look for CDE. And this is Chongsin University to Taratung. And then you're going to go via Sikoing. This one, Dabinstan, right? So pull our map back up here. We'll take all of the black lines and stuff off. And so this one is.
It starts down at the bottom on 4.
Oh, all right. So it's the green ones. So for me, I color coded these so that I could find them a little easier as I was doing them. So you're going to start here at 4-7, and you have to end here. But you have to go through this station and this station to get there, right? So the first thing that you have to do is let's look at it.
Get to the one with the S first.
Yeah, so you're going to go from the 4-7 train, the 4-7 spot to this 1-6. Is this the one where we messed it up?
Yep.
All right.
So the 4 is correct. And then
so you're gonna ride the 4 train all the way. Yeah, so you're gonna start here and you're gonna ride the 4 train, and it's gonna come all the way up to here. You're gonna stay on the 4 train.
No. Nope. No, you're not.
Oh, do you get off here at the 1 on the 1?
You get on the 1.
Okay. So you're gonna ride to here and then you're gonna hop on the 1 train. Oh, this is where we
took an
up.
odd route. He must have been stopping off to see his girlfriend or something.
I mean, I can't blame him for that. All right, so you're gonna take the 1 train, and the 1 train will take you up to here and then way over to here and then up through here.
Yep.
That's the train station that you have to pass through. You don't necessarily have to change trains there because you got to get up to Dobstang, right? So you continue to ride the 1 train to here. Here, you're going to hop off and get on the 7 train.
On the 7.
And then the 7 train is going to take you over to your final destination over here. So in this, you're going to go the 4 train to the 1 train to the 7 train, right?
He either went to see his girlfriend, went to dinner, or he fell asleep.
Oh,
he
that's what I did.
He should have just taken the 6 and went home.
I put 416. Why? How did I get 416? I don't know. I did. That's why it's wrong.
Oh, I did too, but it made sense at the time.
It somehow. All right. So there was 417. And then FG, you're going to start in Noan. You're going to end in Sindorum, but you're going to go via this Wang Simi and just Jamsil, right? So let's pull our there you go.
Yeah.
He was a geocacher. And the only time that you take the easy route is on the way out. Because then you're like, oh, look, there's a trail right here. I could have just walked on the trail. You are correct. So, all right, back to the subway map. In this one, let's get rid of all of my black lines from previous iterations. So this is going to be the blue line, right? You want to start in Sindorum. You want to end in, Noan. So Noan, and you want to end in Sindorum, but you got to go through Wagimi and through this Jasmil station over here, okay? So the first thing you got to do is figure out how you're going to get from the 4-7 train to this station right here. Yes.
Yeah, I just realized how different this puzzle is from the others, besides just a presentation. Because I mean, I like the presentation on this one.
Yeah,
but this one,
so this is
you don't really learn anything. It's just a challenge. The others I like. I like the others too. The others you learn something on them. You're not going to learn it. You don't learn something on this, and this one's just a challenge.
And I'll tell you that the hardest part about this was trying to find where all these stations were. I actually pulled up a map of the Seoul Korea train map and typed all of these stations in it. And once I found them, I went and circled them in the saved image because I'd still be looking for some of these. So in this, you're going to ride from Noan. You're going to ride the 4 train out down to here and then down to the cultural park station right here, right? At this station, you're going to jump onto the 2 train, right? The 2 train is going to bring you down through this station, down to here, across the river, down to this station, and then you'll continue to ride the 2 train down to here, across here, and then up to your final destination. So for this one, you are 4-2, get you all the way to the end. So 4-2 is what you're looking for the FG. Now, the last part of this is that he has it as HE. I'm pretty sure that's probably a typo because it should be HIJ. But you're going to go ahead, Tom.
I said, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So you're going to start in Bulgwang and you're going to end in Sedang, but you've got to go through this station, and this station to get there. So back to the map, right? And so once you get back to the map, let me clear all of my black lines off of this and black boxes. So we'll go black boxes. You're going to start here. And then you have to go through here. Then you have to go through here. Then you have to go through here. And then you have to end up in Sedang, way down here at the bottom, right? So in this, you can start in Bowling, and regardless of which way the train's going to come up and around, but you want to ride the 6 train to go through this station, right? So you want to go through here and then there, right? So 6 down to here. Now, this isn't necessarily where you want to get off of the train. You just have to go through this station, right? If you come over here to the 5, this interchange right here, right? You can switch onto the 5 train. The 5 train will then take you north to this station, right? And then from this station, you can come down and over to this station right here at the Cultural Park. At this station right here, you want to get off of the 5 train and onto the 4 train, right? Because then the 4 train will take you through the last station that you have to pass through. Then it comes over here. And if you stay on the 4 train, it takes you all the way to Sedang. And so the last portion of this is the 6 to the 5 to the 4 gets you all the way through. And there are easier ways to get from here to here, because if you just come down to here to this station and take the 2 train, the 2 train then takes you down here. You don't have to deal with any of this mess in the middle of Central Seoul, Korea. But then that wouldn't make for a fun puzzle, now would it?
I got curious while you were talking there and looked it up. That subway serves 6.6 million people per day. And the number 2 line is the busiest with a daily average of 1.96 million passengers.
Well, that right there is why you would avoid the 2 train at all possible. I really liked this, the map and how this one was laid out. I just was in New York City and rode the subway in New York City, all over Manhattan. I took it underneath the Hudson over to Hoboken, New Jersey. I got my very first cash in New Jersey and my very first cash in New York City, or in New York, period, on this trip. So it was very cool to get in there and be like studying the maps of, I know I want to go here. How do I get here? How do I get to Hoboken, New Jersey? And then somebody told me, oh, well, you can't do it from the New York City Transit. You have to go over to like the Joint Hudson Port Authority special subway, and they have their own subway station. And so I was like, oh. And so they pointed me down, and you walk down this hallway, and all of a sudden you're in a whole nother subway station, like a block and a half over, so that you could go to New Jersey. But was a really cool kind of get up and whatnot. But I rode all over Manhattan and whatnot on the train. I like this idea. If there was another city that had a big subway system like this, or there you go, the PATH train. So I had to go to the PATH subway station to go to New Jersey. The Port Authority. Yeah, the Trans Hudson. There you go. Yeah. So, but if you had like the L train and subway stuff from Chicago and could do something like this, or if you could do, another city, Frankfurt or Paris that has a huge subway deal. This would be a cool thing to, pull back and do. I know that when me and my wife went to Washington D.C., we rode the trains everywhere. We just got like a week pass and just boop 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 and just went everywhere on the trains. We didn't even have a rental car.
You're reminding me all kind of stuff. So 20-something years ago, my brother lived in Brooklyn, and me and my mom went up there to visit him, and we took the subway from where he lived in Brooklyn over to by the World Trade Center. And then we had breakfast down there somewhere, and he put us on another subway, said, go like 2 exits this way and get off. And when we did, we were in Chinatown, but it was like we went 13,000 miles around the world, because it was like we were in China. It was totally different. And let's see, yeah, I've ridden the train in DC and the L train in Chicago, going from the airport, both of them going from the airport to where I stayed. Did that in San Diego too. I took the train from San Diego from the airport to where I stayed, and then did it again when Cheryl had something up there to go to. And while she was in her conference, I took the train dang near to Tijuana just to ride and see where it would go. And got caches along the way, so it was pretty cool. And it only cost a couple bucks to do that. So
yeah, the train was super affordable in DC and in New York. When I went to Tokyo to visit my son, took the trains everywhere. Trains super affordable. So making a mass transit cache like this somewhere, in your neck of the woods and whatnot. You could even use how this CO did it and whatnot and recreate it. Super cool puzzle and whatnot. So, you
could get real creative and just make your fictional town and fictional subway or train.
Yeah, you could. All right. Let's. There is that big, huge train railroad GeoArt in Idaho. But they aren't all puzzles.
That one's a mixture of a bunch of stuff, isn't it? A bunch of
multi-caches and traditionals. A bunch of them were traditionals, but there were some multi-caches in there. I thought there were some. I thought the clouds coming out of the smokestack were puzzles. They may not have been. It's been a while since I looked at that GeoArt up there.
There was an F-16 up there too. Maybe that was the afterburner that was puzzles.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff in Idaho.
Yeah.
Like
potatoes.
I like potatoes.
I do too. Potatoes don't always like me though. All right. So that's it for tonight's show. Next month's show, let's look.
Let's remind people again. All these puzzles we did tonight were sent in by viewers. So, thank you.
That's right. So, and if you have a puzzle that is yours that you want featured in next month's show, shoot us an email. Hang on, somewhere in here is the bam right there. puzzletalkpodcast@gmail.com, and we will hook you up with featuring your cache on the show. So shoot us an email. Next month's show is going to be on Tuesday, December 6th. And it is, we've already done planes, we've done trains.
We're on December 2nd right now. December 6th is
January.
We are on December 6th, but that's the podcast for
that's
hope.
Right. It is this weekend, Podcast for Hope. And so
bring your money around. See us again.
Yeah. So next month's show is January 6th, Tuesday, January 6th. And it is going to be automobiles. So anything that you have that is automobile related, if you would like to, if you've got it and you haven't been able to solve it, and you want us to feature it in the show, we'll do that and whatnot. So any of these that you would like to see in the show, if you're a CO and you have some that are automobile related, car related, motorcycle related, whatever the case may be, shoot us a GC code, send it to puzzletalkpodcast@gmail.com. We'll put it in the show and share it with everybody.
I know one that'll be in the show notes that I don't know if we'll go over, but I'll have it in the show notes, because if you watch us go over Cash Fest Hawaii, we had a car one in Cash Fest Hawaii.
That's right, we did.
For the Puzzle Academy, and I just decided I like this puzzle. I'm going to make it a real puzzle.
That's right. I like this. You ready? We've done this once before.
Yeah.
And it was a great show. And so we'll be doing another one of these probably in March or April. So stay tuned. We'll go over that, and we'll have a viewer created puzzle show again here this spring. So anything automobile related, shoot us a GC code down there. Or you can, if you're on any of my social medias, you can send a GC code there. You can send Tom a message in the geocaching.com messenger service. You can do that with me as well. So any way that you want to get one to us, shoot us a GC code. We'll make sure to put it into the show and try and go over it. We did run a little long tonight, but they were good puzzles. Good puzzles. So we appreciate everybody hanging in till the end. Yeah, that's all I got.
That's it. And
that's it.
And I gotta say, I appreciate my future grandkid for holding off tonight. She must be a future fan.
That's right. She's like, that's not time to go. She's trying to have a birthday on 12/3. So thanks for everybody for tuning in. Get your car puzzles sent our way if you've got some. And then we will see you next month, January 6th, for the automobiles portion of the planes, trains, and automobiles series. So
don't forget, in Savannah, bring your ducks to Charles.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, Tom, I'm mailing you a calendar now. I'm mailing you a calendar. All right. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you all next month.